Hey guys, how are you? Dr. Nathan Thompson here. And today I want to go over something really special, something that I'm excited about, and also not that excited about. I'm going to tell you why. So, if you guys watched the video I put on the page, Dr. Nathan Thompson, about a week back, I did food allergy testing. So, went to the lab, got my blood drawn, sent a kit off to the lab to test my blood to see if I was having any kind of immune system or allergic reactions to specific foods that I was actually eating. So I got about 115 different foods tested, and I got them tested for two different types of reactions that were taking place inside of my body. This is why this is important. So um, the test is testing for two different types of reaction. So the first one is called an IgG reaction. IgG is going to be a very slow type immune system reaction. And in fact, sometimes you don't even react to certain foods for 24, 36, 48 hours. This is why an elimination diet can be really hard and can drive you crazy, because that type of immune system reaction happens really slowly. Now, there's another type of immune reaction that can take place. This type of immune system reaction is called IgE. This is also associated with what's known as anaphylaxis. So this is, like someone breathes in a peanut from 10 feet away and their throat closes up. They break out in hives. They swell up. They can't breathe. And so this is a different type of immune system reaction. What's interesting is in the past, for example, my daughter actually got quote unquote food sensitivity or food allergy testing. And all they did was they did a scratch test. And the scratch test is only looking for one type of reaction, and that's IgE. And so from that food, nothing actually came up. So what that meant is she wasn't having an IgE or almost like an emergency type response reaction to it. However, you can also have this slow reaction that's taking place that creates one thing that's really important to remember. It's called inflammation. Inflammation. So listen, inflammation is great when it's acute. You sprain your ankle, you get blood swelling into the area. That's actually how the immune system gets into the area and starts to digest the damaged tissue and lay down new tissue. You have to get the immune system into that area to start healing and repairing. This is why if you recommend ice, it's not a good thing. The only thing you're doing is you're lowering pain, but you are inhibiting the immune system from going in there and actually healing it. So acute inflammation is great. Yet the problem is we do everything that we can in order to stop it. But some of these other things are chronic inflammation. And chronic inflammation is the body responding to these chronic stressors, and this immune system is always working overtime. As a result, the body starts to adapt to all of these stressors. And so the key is how do you lower inflammation inside of the body as much as possible? And how do you start removing all of these stressors that affect disease on the other end? The thing is that you don't just wake up one day with a thyroid issue. You don't wake up one day with adrenal fatigue. You don't wake up one day to be infertile. You don't wake up one day to have low testosterone. You don't wake up one day to have a menstrual cycle that feels like you have knives in your uterus every 28 days. That is not how the body is actually programmed. The body is programmed to be healthy. The body is programmed to be well. And genetically, those things aren't supposed to happen. Not unless you're putting the body in an environment that creates tons of inflammation. So 10 days ago or so, I did my food sensitivity. Yesterday, I just got the results back. Here's why it's good news and it's bad news. It's good news that I know it's bad news because I'm going to have to make some changes. Now, here's the thing. People ask me, how do you eat? Well, if you would look and say some of the best foods for you, that's actually what I eat. Problem is can a healthy food actually be bad for you? Can somebody be recommending a food to you that might be on one aspect be healthy according to a textbook, but on the other end, you're having all of these different immune system reactions that are taking place that are creating inflammation. So I decided to get myself tested in order to see, hey, what's going on inside of my body? What am I having these reactions to? So I want to show you right now. I want to show you my food sensitivity testing results. All right. All right. All right. So the first one that we're going to go over is we're going to go over the different foods that I was having an IgG reaction. And what you see up at the top is you see the foods that I was actually reacting to. So my immune system is reacting to some of these antigens that are in the food. And then on the bottom, what you see is you also see all of the foods that I don't react to. So there's about 115 different types of antigens that I actually tested. So here's what's interesting. So I react to almonds. I react to casein, which is also a protein. They call that actually the devil in the milk. I react to cashews. I react to coconuts. I react to egg whites, kiwi, cow's milk, peanuts, sesame, and tuna. Now, you're going to see a little number right next to this that shows the level of reactivity or the levels of antibodies that you're producing against these certain antigens. So you can also actually see that things like almond, egg whites, kiwi, peanuts, tuna, cashews, is I react a little bit to. However, when you look at things that I react violently to, the big one that you see right here is actually casein. Okay. So what does that mean? That means that I shouldn't be eating these foods because they produce inflammation inside my body. Listen, inflammation is a precursor to all disease. The reason why is like Time Magazine in 2004 actually already said this. They said inflammation is really at the root of everything. So here I am eating some of these foods because, hey, they're healthy for me. I mean, when you think about it, almonds are healthy, no doubt about it. Cashews are great. Coconut is great. Peanuts, not so much. Eggs are great. Kiwi is a fruit, so it can be great in moderation. Tuna can be great, for tuna alone, not involving the toxicity that's taken place. So all of these foods can actually be good for you, except when you're having an immune system reaction to it. So as I got to thinking about this, because I asked a patient today, I said, are almonds good? They said, absolutely. I said, they're great unless you have a sensitivity to them. Then they're not so great. So here I have almond, casein, cashews, coconuts, egg whites, kiwi, cow's milk, peanuts, sesame, and tuna that I'm reacting to, which means that every single time I'm eating some of these quote unquote healthy foods, I'm really just kind of slowly poisoning myself. Now, a lot of people will freak out and they say, what do you mean I can't have these foods? Well, here's the good news. These are the foods at the bottom that I actually don't react to, that I actually can have. So you still have a list of all these foods that you can have. And now the magic is how do you still eat healthy foods, but avoiding all of these allergens that are creating inflammation? Now, the second part of the test is this. This is also important. So this is an IgE test. So the IgE test is looking for the top food allergens that produce an IgE reaction. So testing almonds, soy, corn, eggs, cow's milk, peanuts, shrimp, and wheat. So when you look at all of these, looking at that IgE reaction, and the great news is all of it is non-detectable. Now, that's like an emergency immune system reaction, and the other one is a slow immune system reaction. These are the things, again, that are producing inflammation inside the body. So one of the things that I have to do is I have to sit down and say, okay, so I can't have coconut, or I can't have egg white, or I can't have coconut milk in my smoothie. I can't have almond milk. I could have rice milk, but I don't want all of the carbs when I have rice milk? How about soy milk? Well, I don't react to soy, but here's the thing. Soy is in and of itself, it's a GMO. If you're getting it from the grocery store, it's going to be a GMO. And plus, it's also can produce, can make the body produce more estrogen. So I definitely don't want to do that. I don't want more estrogen. Okay. I don't want to be, drinking soy milk and having to wear a bra. So what can I have? So I sat down and said, well, here are some of the substitutions that I actually can have. And I've actually already ordered this. So as far as like milk, things like that for smoothings, hemp milk. So I've ordered hemp milk instead. You can also have goat's milk. The reason why goat's milk, and it depends on your reactivity to cow's milk, but goat's milk has a lot less what's known as A1 casein, and that is the inflammatory casein especially. Now, what about things like whey protein? Well, hey, listen, I'm a huge fan of whey protein, but if it comes from the right source and it's from concentrate, the one that I actually recommend doesn't have casein in it, but it also has cow's milk in it. So do I react to whey protein? Absolutely. So I have to use vegan protein. Or I have to use a bone broth protein without the cow's milk or the casein that's in it. I actually see out there actual like casein powders, that bodybuilders use for recovery. And I look at that, I'm like, oh my goodness. Can you imagine how much inflammation they're actually creating and causing? So you may look great on the outside, but on the inside, your body is a disaster. What about nuts? I love cashews and I love almonds. Those are my favorite ones. Well, I react to them, which means that I'm going to start having things like Brazil nuts that I don't react to, walnuts that I don't react to, and even pistachios that I don't react to. So I have to just change one for the other. And what about coconuts? So I love coconut oil, especially to cook with, but I can't have that. I react to it. So I've already switched out avocado oil or grapeseed oil to do some of the higher temperature type cooking. So those are some substitutions. Now listen, everyone's substitutions are going to be different. This is why it starts to become really hard to teach nutrition, because you could teach and tell people, do all of this blanket nutrition, but in the back end of it, these people are reacting to it and they're not getting the results that they want. So the food sensitivity test, I believe, is really, really important, especially towards taking that first step towards lowering inflammation inside of the body. Really, the first step, if you want to get yourself well, is to find where you're creating the inflammation and be able to remove it. Even more important than taking a supplement. Even more important than counting your macros is remove that inflammation first. Start substituting this for that and start lowering that inflammatory response inside the body. Now, I'm going to talk more about this, guys. Coming up, we have a brand new talk, never been done. It's our natural approach to inflammation. Now, food sensitivities is just one aspect of inflammation. It's not the whole entire aspect, far from it. So we're going to talk about all of these different areas of where you get inflammation. And you also are going to have, you think about it, you have physical. Hey, Brianna, how are you? You got physical trauma that causes inflammation. This is your spine and your nerve system. You have the chemical, which food sensitivities and allergies would be a form of chemical trauma or chemical interference that leads to inflammation. But you also have some other things that are creating chemical trauma and inflammation inside of your body. And then you also have your thoughts. So your thoughts actually can produce inflammation. You don't believe me? Just think about how much you hurt more when you are stressed, or people who are depressed, how much more chronic pain. Heck, when someone has, for example, chronic pain, well, a lot of times like fibromyalgia, The medical community actually gives people an antidepressant for it. The reason why is because there's a link between your stress, your brain, and the amount of pain that you actually can perceive. So Saturday, February 9th, 9 to 11 a.m. at Exemplify Health Center, we're going to talk about inflammation. And we're going to talk about the first steps that you take in order to start lowering inflammation systemically throughout the body. Now, some people, it may be a food sensitivity test. It might be. Some people, it may actually be a test of their spine and their nerve system. We just have to figure out where the biggest source of stress and inflammation is actually taking place and start removing all of those different stressors from your body. Because here's the thing, your body was not programmed to get sick. Your body was programmed to heal, to reproduce, and to thrive. That's how we're programmed. Otherwise, there would be no such thing as a human race. So, hey guys, I left a link in the post. You guys can go ahead and register on our Eventbrite link. We already are at 2/3 capacity, which means you better hurry to get registered for this event. Now, in addition to that, when you register for that event, coming up to the event, we're going to send you a really important link. This one is on me. It's our link to our functional assessment questionnaire. This has about 250 different questions. Once you submit that online, I'll be able to take a look at it before the event and give you some recommendations as far as what kind of testing you should do to look at where the body is the most stressed and where you're having the most inflammation so that you can start living your best health right now. So, hey guys, if you have a question regarding the food sensitivity test or anything like that, leave a comment below. Again, February 9th at Exemplify Health Center, a natural approach to inflammation. You can register on the link, which should be right above me, and we'll see you guys soon.